And we are live. What's going on, brother?
What's happening, brother? How was your weekend?
Busy. It's always busy. I'm always working.
Yeah,
Always working.
Got to pay those bills.
Can't stop, man.
Yeah, can't
It's
stop.
more than that, man. No, but it's more than that, man. It's some people work to make money. I do what I do
Lots of
because
people.
this is what I was meant to do.
Yep.
This is what I sacrificed everything for. This is not a job, man. It doesn't matter. You could give me 20 million. I still continue doing what I'm doing every day. This is what I'm meant to do. So yes, for most it's a job, but to me it's not.
It like really they say, right? Love what you do and you never work a day in your life.
Sure. It takes a lot of time though.
Yeah.
It takes a shit ton of time to do
it. Like, when we first met, I really had no idea the behind the scenes stuff of this stuff. I'm starting to see it. It's definitely takes a lot of time. What are you up? You're up at 4 a.m. every day? It's never gonna be me, bro.
Yeah. Normally between somewhere 3 and 4.
Jesus.
3 and 4. Like it's 11 where I'm at right now, and I've already been to the gym. I worked and I posted twice. Did the research for today.
What time do you get up? Or what time do you go to bed? Sorry.
It depends, man. 8.
Okay. Early to bed, early to rise.
Well, you have to. You can't destroy your body by not sleeping enough.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's one thing I'm realizing as I'm getting older. You got to get to sleep. When you're a kid, you can get away with going out 2 to 3 a.m., be up, and then get up and at her at 7. But don't fly that way at our age.
It's fucking no. But even when you're 20, it's absolutely brutal on your body. Absolutely. I've done it for almost 15 years. It's absolutely terrible for your body.
Yep.
You need to sleep. You're supposed to sleep between 7 and 9 hours, right?
Yeah. That's what the experts say. That is
so first and foremost. Trust the science, right?
Yeah.
Trust the science.
Right,
so first and foremost, hold on. For everybody that's joining us right now, thank you for joining us. We want you to interact with us. So if you agree with what we're saying, if you disagree, if you have something to say, if you think that there's a topic we should cover, anything, whatever you have to say, we want to hear it. That's why we do it live.
Absolutely.
First and foremost. Second thing, follow this page. Follow the page at Silent Middle Pod. Follow Rob. Follow me. Make sure that you're aware of what we're doing, because we're going to be posting like crazy people. I'm teaching Rob how to make very cool reels. So you're going to start seeing a shit ton of reels from this show.
Ton of content.
And we want you to see it. We want you to share them. We want you to comment. The whole point's to drive a conversation with you guys. That's or else what's the point of creating all this content, right?
Yep. And we're going to be here every day, Monday to Friday at noon Eastern. So we're going to be basically just, engaged. And obviously we hope as much possible. Like from the very beginning, me and you have discussed that we want this to be an interactive sort of pod. We want to get ideas from our audience. We want to give them ideas. Everyone's just sort of bouncing ideas off. And I think that's probably the best way to go about it. If you like what you hear,
agree with you more.
Tell us. If you don't, let us know too.
Tell us.
Yeah.
Agree, disagree. But the whole point's to drive a conversation, to show that Rob as a token lefty and me as a more conservative guy, we can still have conversations even though we disagree. And chances are that I don't know that we're going to disagree that much. No. This is the thing. I don't know that we're going to disagree that much. It's just, we'll see on the conspiracy theory side. This might be where we differ.
Might be why we diverge. See. I will have an open mind, and I know that you're going
That's all you can have, right?
Yeah, and I know you're going to triangulate all the arguments, and you're gonna come up with some pretty persuasive stuff. But we'll see where we end.
But hold on, you got to be careful. I cannot dive in the rabbit hole of conspiracy theories because it's too much. Like they're rabbit holes. They're going to take forever. So all I want to do with my conspiracy theories, and starting today, when I put my hat on, you guys. So if I put my hat on, you guys know that there's going to be something coming up that you probably won't agree with. I'm just letting you know. So this
Yeah,
is my this is my hot warning to you.
just
If I
putting
put it
out
on,
there.
you know
Yeah.
there's some shit that they're going to come to the conversation. So
Well, if you make your case well, I'll be there. I'll be right there with you.
So what are we talking about today? Well,
All right.
let's introduce this show. So
Sure. You go ahead.
you wanted to talk about Trump, what Trump said to the LA mayor.
Yep.
I'm using that as a perfect segue for a little conspiracy theory, super short video of Trump that he said that day after that meeting. But most of you didn't see it. So I just want to make sure you guys see that clip and do some research for yourself.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, it's just, I'm a conspiracy theorist, man. I'm always gonna drive those things if I can.
Just dropping little breadcrumbs along.
I want people to question the narrative. That's all that's all I do. That's what my content does.
Absolutely.
You wanted to talk about the CIA is now favoring lab leak theory to explain COVID-19's origin.
Well, and that's why I want to talk about it, because that started as a conspiracy theory, right? We especially on the left, I think we all heard. Do you want to start with that one, or do you want to just? We'll come back,
bro. I could have fucking told you that, like.
Well, yeah. I know.
But you know the difference. Hold on. You know the difference between a conspiracy. You know what the difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth is?
What's that?
About 6 months.
Yeah. I mean, look.
I'm just fucking with you.
I'll give you guys this. It's a golden age for the conspiracy theorists. There's been y'all have been proven more right than normal, I will say. Like, let's not don't strain your arm.
This is why I'm wearing my gold shirt.
Yeah. Don't strain your arm patting yourself on the back there just yet. However,
my shoulders are too big. I can't do it.
I mean, it's funny.
Let's start there. Go.
Let's start there.
Introduce this one. Yeah. Let's start there because you already primed and I'm already laughing at you, so it's a perfect place to start.
Yeah, I got it. Exactly. I'm ready to go on it. All right, let me see here. I'm going to share this. So, what I saw is just this tweet. CIA. Let me know when you see that. Yes. CIA
yeah, we see your screen
now favors the lab leak theory to explain COVID's origins. And essentially chalk one up for the conspiracy theorists, right? And I mean, in retrospect, it's kind of interesting how that really got. So let's just backtrack a couple years. So it's back 2019, 2020. I'm sure you were among the people who were beating the drum on this. I was still a liberal in good standing. I still might have even said something like trans women are women, and actually thought I believed it. I had my, I certainly had my own awakening since then. But, if I'm sure you remember, but it was just widely dismissed, right? It was, that's racist. The media made it seem like it was just ridiculous. And looking back on it, it's sort of almost like, why was it never even discussed in the first place? There's a fucking lab in Wuhan called the Institute of Virology that focuses on coronaviruses. You know what I mean? So even if it did come about from a bat and a rabbit, I don't know, someone eating a wet market in Wuhan, which is of course the preferred narrative back then. Why did we not even consider the fact? Like, you have a virology lab in a city named Wuhan specifically devoted to coronaviruses, and then a fucking coronavirus outbreak, and it doesn't even occur to you that this might be the case. It seems so obvious to me. And the reason I wanted to highlight it is because, obviously we both have we have a big broad agenda with this show. We want to show how the right and the left doesn't have to be at each other's throats, how we can find common ground. But for me, I feel like it's my mission to show people on the left that, the media cannot just be blindly trusted. The thing that really opened my eyes was, a couple years ago when you start to see headlines like, a media will discuss a rape or something, and they'll just say, they'll use the phrase her penis. The rapist used her penis or something like that. It's like, her penis? Like, what are you talking? Like, you're lying to us about something like that. What else are you lying about? And I guess here's another example of that. It isn't to say I don't believe the media should just be automatically disbelieved at all times. I think you should treat them like another source. Listen to what they say, do your research. But one thing we really have to get away from on the left is this idea that the media is always right. And if the media says something, it's the case, because we're seeing example after example after example of where they either just get it wrong, maybe innocently, or they're actually, you can clearly see an agenda being pushed, and the left needs to wake up to what's going on here and ask questions. The fact that this has now been proven right now, you won't hear about this. Like, you know, I just shared one headline about this, that the CIA now believes that it was a lab leak, but you're not going to hear about this in the mainstream media. You know, this will be swept under the rug. And so, you know, we just, as a lefty, we need to really open our eyes about what media is and what they are not, and sort of, they're also, you know, they are pushing a narrative, and we need to be aware of that.
Of course they are, and you know that goes from the left side to the right side. Fox News is no better than MSNBC or CBC or they're all the same. They have their agenda, and they have something. They have their narrative that they want to push. Plain and simple. I don't trust the media. To me, the media is a place where I start. Okay, what are they talking about? You're talking about this? Awesome. Let me research it. This is where I go from, right? This is just, and if the media's talking about it, I'm like, okay, what are they hiding? Right off the bat, I'm like, okay, so that's what you're talking about? Awesome. What are you hiding? Because this is nothing new. So to me, when you propose, like, because we meet, we talk a lot prior to episodes, and you mentioned this to me, I'm like, that's not news. I knew this 3 years ago, man. That the subcommittee on the coronavirus released a 520-page document, and that's one of the things that they talked about. You can see at Congress when they put Fauci on the stand, I think it was last year in 2024. Not only did Wuhan have a lab that researched the coronavirus, but the CDC had a lab, was renting space in a lab in Wuhan to do research on viruses too. So, and he admitted to that. But the left-leaning media did not talk about it. You had to go to the right side to actually hear about it. So, but they were talking about this last year. He admitted to that. He's saying, no, but this is not how it leaked, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, ha, ha, ha. Like, this is the type of violin that he was going for. But this is not new. This has been, you know, one thing to always keep in mind. I've had my Facebook account banned, like completely banned. There's no way for me to ever get it back, even with an expert. They cannot bring, even now, I cannot get my Facebook account that I've had, man, since 2008. I had a massive following there, and they just banned me. Why? Because I was talking about this shit. So, and now Zuckerberg last year came out and said that Biden and Harris, their administration, have been putting pressure on him, on Meta, to censor conservative people, the people that were talking against this, that were saying exactly this, that was saying that the coronavirus vaccine should have never been given to people because it was developed too fast. It was never tested properly. You guys gave immunity to Pfizer, Moderna. You actually protect guys like Fauci. All of this was indication. We could have told you this 3 years ago. We tried to tell people this 3 years ago, but the social media platforms, and not just Meta, like Google did the same. TikTok did the same. Everywhere that I post outside of Rumble and X back then did the same, because that's prior to Elon Musk buying it. So it did not matter where you were. I got in trouble every fucking where for saying these things. Yet now it's even worse than what I was talking about, because I try not to go too deep into conspiracy theories. I try to just introduce the conspiracy theory. No, but I just want to introduce to say, guys, this is what they're saying. This is what I'm saying.
Just put it out there.
Just research this and make your own opinion. And I'm happy to see a lefty like you to look at this and say, okay, this is fucked up. But yet I'm looking at this, I'm like, well, duh, where the fuck were you smoking for the past 3 years?
Yeah, exactly. And like I said, I am not, I guess, by nature conspiracy minded. But again, everything I've seen over the past couple of years, the coming out of the media, I see, you can very clear. Once it's almost like once you see it, you see it everywhere. It's very obvious. It just has completely ruined my trust in the media. And so now I just will not dismiss something offhand. I'll take it on a conspiracy theory by conspiracy theory basis. I still have to be convinced, right? There still needs to be empirical evidence. Like I'm not going to go on vibes and feels. But like you said, the media, like the right wing media, obviously has its own bias. Fox News obviously has its own bias.
Of course they do.
And this is why the polarized media landscape is so dangerous, because if a lot of people are well-meaning, they don't really give a shit about the culture wars. They just want to get it right. They just want information to be correct. And when they see one side of the media landscape, whether it's the right or the left, saying one thing, and then the other just either not reporting it or saying the other, then it just allows them to retreat into their comfortable bubble, believe what they want to believe, and the result is what we see, this hyper polarized environment where it's it's a groundbreaking thing for me and you to have a show where two liberal and a righty might actually agree on a lot of things. And even when we disagree, it doesn't have to be ugly. I mean, we don't have to be screaming at each other.
And you got to be careful. As somebody that's been a conspiracy theorist since I'm 14, almost for 30 years now, before there was an actual term for this, you cannot think that everything's a conspiracy either. Because this is something that I see from a lot of the accounts that I follow, because they talk about conspiracies. I'm like, okay, bro, come on. Like, they're like, oh, that guy made that sign. Oh, that's it. Is a conspiracy theorist. Actually, bro, your body is electric, and this realigns for wisdom. Same thing as if you want to breathe, I meditate every day. You want to breathe properly, you're having issues breathing, this connects your body in a certain way that will open your lungs. Same thing as, why do you think meditators connect those two fingers? Because of your energy flows through your fingers. So not everything is a conspiracy theory, right? This is the thing. It's not because I do this all the time. People think that's the devil. I'm like, okay, maybe, but I say it as peace. Hey, peace out, bro. Like, hey, peace out. So we got to be very careful. And one of the stories that I want to talk about is exactly that, where people are going out like, oh, conspiracy. And yet I'm like, I brought up some stuff and I'm like, yeah, hold on. Is it possible? Sure. Is it possible that you're full of shit and it's not a conspiracy? Yeah, it is. So you got to be careful both ways. Yeah. You always have to be careful. This is why it's so important to be somewhere in the middle, to say, this is what people are saying. This is what the news is saying. Then you got to be careful, because you can go to social media, which is the new mainstream media now. Most people, young people, get their information from social media. They don't go to mainstream media anymore. So you got to be careful, because I could create a video right now, says the dumbest fucking shit that it's not true. And I'm so good at creating content that I could go viral. So I'm going to impact, when you have videos and the millions of views, those are the people that saw your shit. If that shit wasn't true, you might have convinced 100,000 people that what you said is true. Yet it could be completely made up, just because I'm good and I can position it in a way that's just enough so that you'll believe me. Well, so you got to be careful. Doesn't matter if you're listening to guys like you and I. Don't trust us, don't trust me because I'm telling you that this is the truth. Don't trust me. Just take my opinion and say, you know what? Maybe he has a point. Let's go research what I'm going to let's see what I find. Let's go use critical thinking. Let's go check out what's out there and see where I lay. Because somewhere it's normally, there's always three sides to a story.
Yeah.
The truth, the lies, and somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle. And and I mean,
sorry. Lies, and the truth, that's somewhere in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, we've sort of talked a little bit about, curriculums in school and how they should be maybe changing and what they should be doing. But I think that's a great example. Like, I think in schools, we should be teaching kids critical thinking, not so much what to think, but how to think. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's great to memorize dates of things and memorize facts, and that's great. But most importantly, especially in today's, hyper advanced sort of information landscape, where information is just a fire hose, we're getting hammered at from all directions. I think it's an absolutely crucial life skill to teach kids how to think, how to, take some information and not
Question.
necessarily, question.
Question.
Don't just accept everything you hear. And a lot of it is, sort of easy common sense, but at the same time, apparently it isn't, because it seems like the vast majority of people just, at the end of the day, it's a human bias. We want to believe what we already believe, right? No one likes to confront things that might change their entire worldview. I mean, there's names for it, like cognitive bias and dissonance. You're right. That's what
dissonance.
Yeah, exactly. That uncomfortable feeling you get when you're holding two ideas that are contradictory, and you have to decide which is which. But at the end of the day, like in all things, whether you're talking about the gym or you're talking about this kind of stuff, it is the discomfort that allows you to grow. And I just feel like society as a whole has just gotten way too comfortable with being comfortable. You know what I mean?
And I'd push it even further by saying also, don't discredit somebody because you don't like them.
Oh,
because that is something that the left is extremely good at doing. That they will dismiss people, they will dismiss me just because they don't like me. Not because they don't agree with what I'm saying. They won't even listen to me because automatically I'm a white, bald-headed guy, muscular, covered in tattoos. I'm racist. Right off the bat, I'm racist. Privileged. Oh, of course I'm privileged. Why else?
Well, it's the classic,
the thing. No, but put your video right now. This is the perfect example. Put the video about Trump. When he called out the LA mayor. Yeah, but this is the perfect example. Most people on the left will not listen to that video just because it's Trump speaking. Yet what he says is absolutely fucking true. They will defend the mayor instead of looking at Trump and say he might have a point. Just because they don't like him. Just because he speaks in a certain way and he's abrasive.
Here we go. So this is our
powers, just like I do, and I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
I did exercise them.
Because I looked, I mean, you have a very powerful emergency power, and you can do everything within 24 hours.
Yes. And if individuals want to clear out their property, they can. Well, yes, but you know that you will be able to go back soon.
Mr. President.
We think within a week.
That's a long time, a week. I'll be honest. To me, everyone's standing in front of their house. They want to go to work, and they're not allowed to do it.
And the most important thing is for people to be safe.
The
most important thing is people to be safe. So, just I'll just give my sort of brief take on that, and then I'll throw it over to you. The reason why I wanted to talk about that is because, we've talked about Trump. Obviously, I'm not a huge fan. I'm a lefty. I'm almost genetically predisposed to not liking him. But what I've done is I've said, okay, you know what? Like, he's president. I basically forgotten everything I know about him and just give a complete blank slate. I'm just going to assess him as the things that he does. And if he keeps talking, like just fucking making common sense and just speaking the obvious truth, he's going to get a lot of converts. The way he talked to, the way she was talking is how politicians always talk, and people are fucking sick of it. Just pass the buck, no accountability. Oh, there's this and that. Got to be safe. Yeah, of course you have to be safe. But you know what's not safe is living outside of your house for fucking 7 years that burned down because you're waiting for permitting and regulations and this and that. And Trump just didn't let her get away with it. And I like what he did there. It was just no nonsense, no bullshit. And I just wanted to use that example of that, there's a reel that you had made yesterday where we talk about this. There's such a hunger out there. People are not going to give a shit if who it comes from. They just want to see anybody just speaking like obvious common sense, the things that they're thinking. What's your take on that?
It goes back to what I was saying, how we kind of introduced this reel for you. People need to be able to listen to Trump, even though that you don't like him, even though that you might disagree with him most of the time. That's fine. But that doesn't mean that he's not speaking the truth. I always try to keep in mind that there is no such thing as a great man, just great ideas.
Yeah.
But we're all flawed. We're all sinners. We all talk. We all gonna rub somebody the wrong way. Trump is very good at that. But does that mean that what he just said to the mayor was wrong? Absolutely not. She has powers, 24-hour powers that are pre-given to her that she can just implement without asking any fucking people. She doesn't need to ask permission. She can just
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
She did it. She did not do it. And I know of people that I follow that actually have houses in the area that burned down. They were not able to get back. The military was preventing them from going. Why? Why can they not go see their houses? It's burned. It's already burned. Why can they not go see their houses? Why can they not go pick up their stuff if there's still things to be picked up?
We don't need a nanny state, you know what I mean? Telling, like, micromanaging our life. And I think, you know, like you said, she didn't use those powers. And that paralysis is, I think, part and parcel of what I'm talking about when I say people are just sick of politics as usual. Stop worrying about how this will look. If this specific constituency will be upset, just fucking do the right thing, because it's usually obvious what is the right thing to do. It isn't hard. What's hard is just having the political will and courage to just do the right thing. And if Trump comes in here as big a blowhard as he is, and he just starts being the normal fucking common sense guy who just gets shit done, the left is in trouble. I mean, he's going to get a lot of people who just are sick. Like, they don't believe that. And like, you know, I'm glad you mentioned it, that, you know, it's important to keep both the right and the left accountable. But I think this one is definitely a left thing where you know, everyone I don't agree with, or everyone that disagrees with me is a Nazi or is a monster. And then you can then throw out everything that they've said. And that's just bullshit. It's a childlike way of looking at the world. You know, a mature mind can take an idea and assess it separate from the person the idea came from. There's lots of really shitty people who have had great ideas, and vice versa. And, you know, if we want to start solving problems, we need to start listening to the best ideas, period, regardless of who they come from. So I couldn't agree with more.
And you're not marrying the guy either. As much as if you gave me a choice between Kamala Harris and Trump, I would have voted for Trump. No questions about it. Does that mean I agree with everything that he does? Fuck no. There's a lot of shit that he does I don't agree with, and I will call him out just the way I called out Joe Biden, same way I called out Trudeau. Who would I vote for between Trudeau and Polyev? I'd vote for Polyev. I'm already calling him out. Right now, he's not even fucking prime minister, and I'm already calling him bullshit in what he's doing, that he's just playing the game like every other politician. But this is the point. It's not because you agree with him or disagree with him that he can't have bad or good ideas. Those are
no.
And this is where we need to draw the line, where Trump in this situation was absolutely right, that the mayor of L.A. should have done more, and she had the power to, and everything that she says are excuses. Plain and simple.
Well,
this
yeah,
is the reality.
And you know, if that was Kamala or Biden or any Democrat president, they would have hemmed and hawed along with, well, you know, you got to do it. No, like, fucking, you had the powers, do it. Like that. Yep. People are just so thirsty for a bit of good governance, and if that comes from an unlikely place in Trump, I think Democrats are going to be in for a surprise over the next couple of years, because people are just sick of the culture wars and the bullshit. Just get it right, get it done, and hopefully the Democrats will learn. But here we go. Here we go. Yeah, all right. Let's segue into your story.
That is just because you brought it up.
Okay.
You brought this up. I wasn't going to share this because, again,
you were
we only have
you were just itching to put that hat on.
Bro, no. Oh yeah, of course I was. But what I'm about to share is just interesting. I'm barely going to discuss it, but I just want to put it out there. You guys tell me what you
anything like it, frankly. They say the biggest in the history of California. I think, has anything bigger than that happened in the whole country ever? It looks like, I don't want to say what it looks like, but you know what I'm going to say. It looks like something hit it. And we won't talk about what hit it, but it is a bad situation. I don't know if we.
You mean a little hint, wink, wink there?
Wink, wink. Now, just to make sure that you guys understand, he said this after he met with the LA mayor. So what you talked about, this came right after. So basically, he's alluding that the LA fires are not what they look like. That's why I have my conspiracy theorist hat on. I'm not going to
So-
go down the rabbit hole, but all I want to say is for the people listening out there, for the people that may believe in conspiracy theories or don't believe in conspiracy theories, just I cannot prove that that's what he's talking about because he didn't say it, and obviously he's not going to say it. But go check laser technology that is capable of burning buildings without burning the fauna that's around it. Because
So
if you
when you
look at the
say-
LA fires,
When you say
But if
not
you
what
look
it
at
looks
the
like, you're not saying that the fires didn't happen. You're saying there was.
oh, the fire happened.
Okay.
No,
All right.
the fire happened. No questions about that.
All right.
Because I know reliable sources that were there. So it happened. Just like Maui, it happened. I know people that live there that told me personally that they saw what they saw, and I trust those people. So that's not even open to question. It happened.
Okay.
But what happened? It's definitely not. I don't believe that it was climate change. I believe that people set fire. Like there's a bunch of people that got caught starting those fires, yet they were released. Police caught them, admitted to it, and released them. That looks strange. Then there's also something that's been put out there, and I want you guys to check it out. Laser technology that is capable of doing the type of damage that is there. That will not burn exactly. But I don't want to go too much. Right? I don't want to go too much in that, but it's there. You can look up the patents. All I want to say is that there are different things that Trump could be referring to here. But we're talking about the president here. We're not just talking about me saying that to a microphone. We're talking about the president of the United States saying that it's not what it looks like. It looks fishy. So all I'm saying, look into what I just said and look into one more thing. Look into Smart City LA 2028. And also remember that the Olympics are also going to be in LA in 2028. And go check what Gavin Newsom said about, you know what? Screw this.
Pull it together for us. So just like briefly, I know you're not saying this is the case,
I don't,
but like what is the
I don't
theory?
even need to. Hold on. I made a video about this. I will. I will.
Think this isn't spontaneous. I just happened.
Oh no, it's just
video right here.
Because I'm a conspiracy theorist, man. I talk about this shit all the time.
Of course, I know.
So you brought this. You chose that subject, man. I'm just running
I
know.
It. I brought this.
So
on this.
Yeah. So there you go. Oh shit! Hold on.
Gavin Newsom is already speaking about rebuilding LA. LA 2.0, as he calls it.
The opportunity, I think, to rebuild at the same time. And that's why we're already organizing a partial plan. We already have a team and looking at reimagining LA 2.0.
And he's very excited about it. But do you remember Smart LA 2028? Oh yeah, and let's not forget the fact that the Olympics are also coming in LA in 2028. Climate change, really? Is this all a big coincidence? Or could it be that maybe this was the plan all along?
So,
all right, so there it is.
This is the thing, right?
Yeah.
Am I saying that that's what's happening? Personally, I believe that's so. To me, it's all prearranged. This was done on purpose because they want to rebuild. They want to start building those LA cities, those smart cities that they call it, and LA, New York. There's a lot of those cities that's been identified that probably be the next ones. Either way. But all I did is show you that, look at Gavin Newsom. This was when it was still burning. I posted that last week. I posted that a week ago. The houses are still fucking burning in the background, and he's already excited about saying that we already have a plan. They're already changing. They're already rezoning some of the areas that were burned to be able to build apartment buildings, condo buildings, high towers. So it's just that, take it for what it is. Just understand that there's always different side to a story, and don't just believe what the media is telling you. Media is not going to report on this. But this is the beauty. But this is the beauty of social media, is that you get access to more information like that. But at the same time, that doesn't mean that I'm right. All I'm saying is consider all those things and put them together. Now, does that open the possibility to something else? And now you have a Trump that even comes in and says, It's not what it looks like. It sounds fishy. I'm paraphrasing because I don't exactly remember the exact words that
No,
he
he
used.
definitely
All I'm
did
saying
a,
is
a hint, hint, wink,
you have
wink.
to
Yeah,
question.
you could hear it.
You have to question the narrative, and that's all I'm saying. I'm going to leave it at that.
So I feel like, I mean, he definitely did that. Now I do feel like Trump is kind of conspiratorial by nature. He definitely leans into those a lot. I think for me, like the main reason I'm not really conspiratorial is not that I don't think that there are powerful people who want to do bad things. It's just more along the lines of, I just think that, you've heard the secret or the saying, like, two can keep a secret if one is dead or whatever. Like the kind of sort of cooperation and like broad sort of covering up that would have to go for a lot of these theories are just, it doesn't strike me as plausible. Now that one, the climate change thing, that is ridiculous, and the left needs to really get away from that shit. No, it wasn't climate change. Even if you believe in climate change, which I do, you might say the best you could say is perhaps that exacerbated it. But the clear to me that the reason fire got out of hand is bad management, bad forestry management, bad leadership, bad governance. These are political decisions that are made. There was a decision made to not have that reservoir full, and people be like, "Oh, it's conspiracy theory." No, it fucking isn't. It's there's actual photos of the Pacific Palisades reservoir that was empty, and that was a decision that was made. And now I also agree with the statement that ideally you don't necessarily need to chalk up. I'm really gonna fuck this up, but just paraphrase is like, don't assume malice when incompetence will do. You know what I mean? I do think a lot of the time it isn't people deciding these things. It's just incompetence allows stuff like this. I think DEI programs clearly, it's hard to say like any one thing is because of something like DEI, but just broadly speaking, regardless of which way you go, anytime you get away from a purely meritocratic system, you're going to see stuff like this again and again and again. So, I mean, that factors in just complete lack of accountability. The way that California is just a complete uniparty system, like it just, that kind of, the way Democrats have complete control over everything, that just breeds absolute laziness. Those politicians don't feel any accountability to the people. And it's not a left or right thing. If it was a state where the right had a super strong grip, you're going to see the same thing. It's just, you don't feel accountable because left-leaning politicians, they're not worried about the California turning right, although they should if they keep fucking up like this. But yeah, I mean, that's sort of my take on that. I'll always listen with an open eye. I think, I hear all the time, like 15-minute cities from the right, we hear that a lot. For me, I've always interpreted, because I mean, yeah, I know that people talk about 15-minute cities. I've just always interpreted that to be, you want small walkable cities, not, sometimes I hear people on the right talk about it, and it seems like they're thinking like cities divided into like blocks where there's checkpoints and the government controls your movement. And I mean, I don't see it that way. I don't think that's what 15-minute cities means.
Well, again, you have the left, you have the right, and normally the truth is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Charles Schwab, which is one of the biggest producer of fucking propaganda and the biggest financier of propaganda of the left, said himself, like, you can watch this. He talks about smart cities where no individual will own cars. He will try to change.
Yes.
Klaus Schwab.
You'll own nothing and you'll like it.
Yep. But the thing is, he's one of the most, like, him and Soros are two of the biggest financier of the left. And they talk about smart cities, about how they will not be drivable cars. The highways will become parks. Basically, so here's the thing. A 15-minute city simply means that everything that you need to live will be within 15 minutes of where you are.
And to me, that sounds fine. I mean, that sounds like a reasonable plan for an urban future.
Why?
I don't see that as a problem.
Why? So
no one's saying...
No, but hold on.
Okay.
This is the beauty of the thing. I can see your point. You don't need to explain yourself. I get it. I understand how for most people this is convenient. because that means I don't need a car. I can probably take my bike everywhere. There's probably a really good subway system. There's probably a good bus system that I can go where the fuck I need to go. And it's super simple. Awesome. But that also means that comes at a cost. If you don't have a car and you have to stay where you are for your life, that means that you can't go wherever the fuck you want. This is the thing. A car gives you the freedom to go wherever you want. This is the thing. And this is the point. As soon as somebody tells you that you need to be confined to this is what the right is talking about. It's like,
well,
okay,
now,
so
now, if that's what you're talking about, then I completely agree that you are confined to it.
But that's the point.
Do you think that's
if you don't have a car? But yeah, like that's what Schwab talks about all the time, that individuals will not own cars. So that means you can't really go anywhere. Okay, like how can you go from, let's say you're in LA to go to New York if you need to, or New York, well, you might not drive that, but let's say you're in LA and you want to go somewhere else in California. You want to go explore, you want to go to Mexico, or you want to go to Arizona, that's right next to it, or you want to drive to Nevada, you want to go to Las Vegas. If you don't have a car, how are you going to go there?
No, I completely agree. And I feel like
it opens the door for control. This is the point. No matter how you slice it, no matter how you look at it, am I saying that that's the goal? Personally, I believe that it is. But let's say that I'm wrong. Let's play devil's advocate and I'm full of shit. I don't know what I'm talking about. Tell me that if you do not possess ways of transportation, that there's not a way for them to control you and confine you into a certain area. And for most people, it's fine. But as a person like me that's traveled the world, that's traveled more of the US than 99.9% of Americans, I don't want to stop doing that. I want to continue traveling. I want to continue going wherever the fuck I feel like going, when I feel like going, without somebody telling me that I cannot, or not being able to, because I don't have a car anymore. This is the point. This is all I'm pointing out, is you're opening the door to control. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
I'm really glad that we're talking about this, because I feel like, we talked about the very first conversation we had, and we were kind of talking about, commiserating about the state of politics and the right and the left. And I had said, I think one sort of habit that we should get into, not me and you specifically, but just, everyone, is when we're trying to have a debate, make sure we agree on the particulars. Make sure we agree on the assumptions, because a lot of debates only occur because we're actually not really talking about the same thing. We're not agreeing on the same thing. And I'll give you an example. Specifically, what you're talking about here, I completely agree with you. If we're talking 50-minute cities mean everything's close by and therefore you cannot have a car, fuck that shit. I will be in the streets marching. What I'm taking it to mean, though, is that these are just sort of like, they want to design cities where you don't need a car, and most people just naturally won't want or choose one, and they can get rid of that expense from their life. But I do absolutely, I fully expect and would demand that everyone has the right to have a car, and it's not any there's no odious restrictions or regulations required from it, because then I completely agree. But I mean, if we're just talking about 15-minute cities as sort of an ideal or a model way to structure our cities in a way that most people might choose to forego a car, then I don't see a problem with that. If what you're talking about is, we've built this 15-minute city for you, therefore you don't need this car and you can't have one, then I completely agree with you, and I'll be in the streets with you. I guess it's just a matter of, once we agree on those particulars, it's a matter of what we think the intentions of the government are. I still am.
Do you trust your government? Do you trust your government? No, but that's what it comes down to, and that's what people need to question.
Absolutely.
Is if the government or the news is telling me something, I'm like, okay, what are they trying to sell me? What are we talking about? What are we really talking about here? And these things never, if you look at, you like to talk about transgenders, right?
Yep.
If Obama did not say in 2008,
not transgenders, the ideology behind it.
But that's what I mean. Like, you like to have transgenders in your bathroom. Okay, let's start from there, right? No, but the point I'm trying to make is, Obama did not say in 2008, men in dresses with beards should be allowed in women's bathroom. It would have never flown. It would have never happened. Yeah. But that happened over 15 years. That happened over 10, 15 years. It's always small steps, small steps, small steps. All I'm trying to say is, if you look at history, if you come from a perspective that governments don't care about you, governments are not doing what they do for you as a person, I put them all in that category, Trump included. I don't believe they have my best interest at heart. They have their best interest at heart.
Always.
If we understand this, that means what are they capable of doing if those people do not like me or they don't think as me as their equal? That opens the window. That opens the door to what are they capable of doing, and that's all I'm saying. If they're always going to sell you the positive without but they don't want you to think about the negative that are attached to the positive. Yet any smart individual out there will always, the old exercise, you take a sheet of paper, split it down the middle. Okay, I would like to do this. What's the good? What's the bad? You weigh both sides and you're like, which is the good? Does one outweigh the other? And then you take an informed decision from there. And that's all I'm saying. All I wanted to say, and I didn't think this would turn into a fucking 20-minute rabbit hole conversation like we're having right now. But I'm happy. But I'm happy that it did, because that's the whole point.
Yeah.
But this could be an 8-hour presentation with all the information that I've acquired on this and what I actually believe. But the point is that question the narrative. If you look at just the way that Gavin Newsom is responding to this, literally the houses are still fucking burning, and that fucker is excited. You saw it in the video.
I've seen some interviews too where he's like, you're like, bro, why are you smiling?
And the whole video, this was meant as a 30-second reel. I recorded it that way. But if you look at the whole interview, he's actually saying that they pre-planned this. They had plans for LA Smart City. So so they had the plans, they have all the ideas, and somehow magically fires just happened. Bullshit. So that's all I'm saying. It's, if you connect the dots, you cannot tell me that you believe the mainstream narrative. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Again, I'm glad we sort of went down this rabbit hole, because I think it does sort of clarify some things. And that shows you also how, when we sort of do clarify our assumptions and what we're actually debating about, we actually see there isn't that, like, all we're really debating is how much, what do we think the government's intentions are? And then that's just a pretty straightforward debate. You can, say how you feel. I'll say how I feel. I think, broadly speaking, you probably have a lot more, maybe not even a lot more, but definitely more natural distrust of, like, authorities, the government, media. But I mean, I'm getting there. I'm getting real close. 2-3 years ago, I think that gap would have been, assuming you're the same now as you were then, you're probably more radicalized now. But let's say 2 years ago, I would have been
I never changed. I never changed. I've always questioned. So I don't like when I'm not radicalized, because I'm
just teasing you, obviously.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that what I'm saying is the truth. All I'm saying is, open your eyes to other truth, to other situation, to other explanation as to what is being offered to you. Remember what Trudeau had said in Canada when he tried to go after Meta and said that they need to pay for a journalist, they need to pay for our content. He knew what he was doing. He knew that Meta would look at him and say, fuck you, I don't need you. I don't fucking need you and your content. Fuck you, blocked. Your content's not going out of Canada anymore. He knew what he was doing, but he said the beautiful thing, guys, I've approached Meta for you Canadian people, because I love you. I love you so much that I'm ready to fight this, because you guys, as journalists, content creators, you deserve to be paid for this. You cannot have massive corporations take advantage of your content. Yet that fucker wanted to censor us. That's it, plain and simple. But he played it in a way that he made them look bad, and he had them block us without him having to do anything, and sell it a completely different way to the Canadian people. This is the thing. Once you start seeing this in the news, directly in your face, you're like, okay, hold on. What's his intentions here? What does this actually mean? Don't just trust the media. Don't just trust me. Don't just trust social media. Listen to what everybody is saying, the left, the right, the middle, and then start doing some research. Question what everybody is saying, and then what are you left with? What is the most conceivable answer, no matter how dangerous to your values it might be?
Yep. I mean, go back to something I said earlier in this show. I guess if nothing else, I think both me and you would agree that what we're really trying to do is not necessarily trying to tell people what to think or anything, but just try to explain maybe how to think, how to come to your own conclusions.
Good way.
I mean, how to
Good way to say
and
it.
like you said, just don't accept anything, whether it's me saying it, you saying it, because I think we both agree. One thing we also take to this is sort of a humility and thought. Like, we're both open to the idea of being wrong. Just so happens it rarely happens, with me, but like, it's possible in theory. I always say that to my girlfriend. I'm like, I can be wrong. I mean, it never happens, but of course I'm joking, because should remind me I'm wrong all the time. But
it is.
Go ahead.
Again, it's just to be open to the fact that it might be a possibility. All I want is for people to question what everybody tells them and try to come up to their own solution, to their own ideas, to their own beliefs. Just question it. Just question what you're being told, see if it makes sense or not, see what other people are saying, because that's critical thinking. That is all I want. I will always be debating the narrative. I will always be investigating it. I will always be questioning the narrative that people are trying to sell me. That's it, plain and simple.
Yep. I mean, that's
see,
that's the right way to be.
This is the perfect. Listen to this one and tell me this. I've been speaking about for years. This is something that's been obvious to me for years, and yet now you have one of the most leftist communist person in Parliament right now, in Congress, saying what I've been saying for years on camera.
Democrats who walk the walk and talk the talk. There is an insane amount of hypocrisy. And the hypocrisy is what gets exploited to use the cynicism. And wherever there's a hypocritical window, for example, I think one of the most biggest examples of this is insider trading in Congress. Like,
dude, I don't know if do I give snaps? I don't know what the kids do anymore, but like, dude, it is that's so crazy.
It's so crazy. It's crazy. I mean,
I dislike AOC. She is the dumbest person in Congress. I do not like this woman. Is literally a bartender, and she only became a congresswoman because of DEI policies. That's it. That being said, like I was saying earlier, I will still listen to people even though I don't like them, because what she's saying is absolutely true. You don't need to go see any further than the greatest trader of all time, Nancy Pelosi. You don't need to go further than Gavin Newsom. How are people that are
Buffett's calling her for tips?
How are people making a couple $100,000 a year worth $40 million or $90 million? How does that happen? Now you have a bartender turned congresswoman saying it out loud on one of the most popular show on TV, and they're laughing at this like it's a joke. So this is my point.
The reason they're laughing is because everybody knows it. It's not a secret. You know what I mean?
But hold on. If you understand that they're doing it, it was a conspiracy until then. No congressperson ever said out loud they are doing it. We all knew they were, but we did not have proof. She said it on one of the most popular platforms in the world, or in the US at least, and Jon Stewart, and said they are doing it, and they're both laughing like there's nothing. And there will be no fucking consequences to that. Those are the people that are elected, that are telling you to trust them. And if I should have continued the video, but they basically, AOC goes on to say that they do not care because they think that the populace are fucking idiots. That is basically what she said without the swearing, because AOC doesn't swear the way I do. But the point is that if you come from a perspective that those are the people that are your leaders, those are the people that are taking the decisions, they don't care about you. They don't even think you're smart. They will continue to do it, even though that everybody knows that they're doing it, because there's no consequences to their actions. So once you understand that, is it that far-fetched that a guy like Gavin Newsom and Nancy Pelosi and all the people behind them, because those are just puppets, but the people that are behind them have actually set fires to LA in order to rebuild it the way they want it into a smart city? Is it that far-fetched? Can you at least agree that that door has been wide open by comments like the one AOC made? They don't care. They will continue doing it until they're caught. Is it that big of a gap to jump to say maybe that's what they did in LA too? Not saying that they did, but is it plausible? That's all I'm saying.
I think I never thought of that as a conspiracy theory. I thought that was understood, but we'll assume that it is. I thought it was well understood that Congress...
No, but bro, that's how you do understand that's extremely illegal. That is illegal. They are not allowed to do that.
No. In my opinion, I've just always looked at as like the corruption that's out in the open. Like, why is lobbying, political lobbying, why is that even allowed, right? Why are there actual lobbying firms where you can hire to pay money to influence a politician? Like, it's almost like it's hiding in plain sight so obviously. But it is absolutely corruption. Like, there's no reason why people are going to be paying so much money unless you're actually going to be influencing politicians. Right? It works. That's why people do it. You know, when you brought this up to me, I just did a little bit of research. Look at some of the net worth of some of these people who are career politicians. You know, who have never made more than what 150, 100 and whatever.
Let's call it 200, 250,000. Yep.
Okay. Nancy Pelosi, 240 million. The fuck is that? Joe Biden, 10 million. Mitch McConnell, 35 million. This isn't partisan. This is all of them. Paul Ryan, 15 million. Bernie fucking Sanders, 3 million. Like, this is the worst socialist ever. You know what I mean? Like, what, how is he worth $3 million? But of course, that's what I mean. Like, nobody thinks that, like, there's only one conclusion you can draw from that kind of net worth when you look at their salaries, is that they are doing corrupt things under the table. And you can see it all the time, because from time to time it does come up where someone will say, maybe we should restrict trading for congressmen. Maybe members of Congress shouldn't be allowed to buy and sell stocks based on what they hear in their private meetings. And I think most
they shouldn't be able to do it at all. They shouldn't be able to do it at all, because it should be. But at the same time, it always comes down to this: career politicians should not be allowed. It should cost you something to serve the people. If you want to become part of parliament, you want to help the people in your community, in your state, and become Congress people, it should cost you something. And this is one of the things that I appreciate from Trump. Again, like him or not, he is the only president to ever take a pay cut, as in him being president costs him. Last time, I think it was above $1 billion that he lost, but for 4 years by not running his own business. Because he became president, and because he's president, he can't run his businesses the way he would want them to. And not only that, but he didn't take a salary and he gave it to charity. So my point is that it should cost you something. If you want to become a public servant, there should be a cost to it, and it shouldn't be you making money. It should be about you providing, serving your people because you care, because you're doing it for the right reasons, not to get rich.
For sure. And I mean, I'm going to push back a little bit on, like, with Trump. Yes, he did give up his salary, but I think the same thing applies. I think he's absolutely been enriched by his presidency. I think it might not be directly in, but like fucking Jared Kushner signed, $4 billion deals with the Saudis after he left. Like, I'm okay. Like, I don't think, I think he absolutely also is I think he's benefiting financially. They all do.
They probably all do.
And that's my point.
They probably all do.
I think
all I'm saying is that it should cost you something. It should. There should be a financial cost to the person, like representing your public, representing your community, your state, the country. It should come as a cost. It should not be a way for you to make money.
No, I don't mind taking a salary. I think that's fine if someone gets paid a reasonable salary, but there should be so many heavy restrictions. Like you said, you should not be allowed to trade if you're elected official. And I think most people, when they hear that debate, they think, it's like it comes up. Should it be illegal for members of Congress to buy and sell stocks? Most people think
yes.
It isn't. Well, most people are shocked that it isn't. They think, really, that's allowed. And it is that's how you get, because if you know anything about investing, that kind of information that they're privy to is essentially like it's a money tree. It's free money. And all it does is it really destroys trust in the government. And that's something that is at an absolute low right now, is trust in the government. And I think, you know, you mentioned career politicians. I think that's just such a, we really need to get some term. I'm just going to show something very quickly here in regards to that. It's a video of Mitch McConnell, and it is another argument for doing away with term limits in career politicians, because these guys get their cozy jobs.
The question, Senator, running for re-election. Let's watch. In 2026. All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator. Benny.
It's a little laggy, but he's essentially a vegetable standing at the thing. And forget about the politics part of it. Like, how can your government be run when you have people who will not give up because we made it so comfortable for them, so cushy for them, that it just all goes back to just, there's an epidemic of bad governance right now. And as crazy as it sounds, it seems like Trump might, you know, if he keeps talking like he did in that clip that we showed earlier, like maybe he'll drive some discussion about, you know, the American political system is so rotten and corrupt. There needs to be a wholesale reorganization, and you know, it's a big task, it's a big job, but I mean, it starts from people like me and you just talking about it. You know what I mean? Get the word out there.
I agree. We're going to have to skip I wanted to talk about the leadership race in Canada. We can talk about it tomorrow because there's nothing much that's going to change on that from today to tomorrow. Okay. But I want to talk about something that's going viral right now. And the fact that I'm a conspiracy theorist and I'm going to tell you not to believe it, or to at least question what people tell you. And again, I'm going to put my hat on because we're going down. This is the conspiracy I wanted to talk about.
Okay. Is this the one you told me not to look up, not
to read? I did not want you to research this. I want you to look at this and be surprised, or at least tell me what you think. So this video is a guy I follow, is a guy I've interviewed in the past. I actually like this guy. So this is a video that's going viral right now. I want you guys to look at this and tell me what you think. So basically, there's just music playing.
So I have seen.
What you guys are seeing.
I don't know what it's. I don't know what it's about.
So it's just something that they showed. There's somebody that came up with this that said, "Hey, there's big," because this is Google, right? This is Google Earth. You enable the satellite view, and you see the buildings, you see everything. So from the top, it looks like somebody's calling for help. There's help everywhere. There's help,
and that's
saying
definitely real. Like, that's not digitally added, or we know that.
No, no, that is, well, no, but technically you don't know, because that could be AI. That could be 100% AI. It wouldn't be that hard to do. I could probably do an image like that, and you just scroll into the image and it would look like that. That's not a big deal. But people everywhere now, they're seeing videos like this and they're like, hey guys, somebody's calling for help. The fact that, hold on, let me show up this to put it into perspective, because one of the things that people are saying is, if you look at the actual map, which I'm gonna pull up on my laptop here, maps, Google, pow. So let me share my screen here so you guys see what I'm talking about. But that this is true. Like, you can, like, there you go. Pow. Those are the coordinates that were in the video. I just wrote them down.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. That shouldn't be there. Pow. Well, this is where we're talking about. So as you can see, like, my layers, I enabled it, and this is the city, and this, see, you can see it. This is live. I'm doing that on my laptop right now. This is absolutely true. It is there.
Okay.
So where you got to be careful with conspiracy theories is that you go look that guy's video, Maverick, that he's called. If you go check his video, you start looking at the comments. They're like, oh, bro, oh, shit, I should have kept them on. They're like, hey, guys, this is dangerous. Somebody needs to investigate this. We need to go to send LAPD there. You guys need to see. You need to go confirm what this is, because what people are saying is, look, right next to it, this is where the signs were. There's a massive Union Pacific Railroad full of containers. So people right away, they're like, oh, that's human trafficking. Those people are calling for help, right? And when you listen to it, you're like, oh, you know what? This is possible. 350,000 kids have gone missing basically over the past 4 years. They crossed the border from Mexico and they don't know where those kids are. You check this out and you're like, oh shit, conspiracy. There's something going on that's dangerous, right? The thing is that a lot of people will stop there. They see those videos, they see those accounts, and they're like, oh, Jesus, that's a massive problem. But being the person that I am, I don't just believe what people tell me. I will question even people that I actually believe their opinion, because Maverick is a guy I speak to. I talk to him all the time. I actually respect his opinion. But that doesn't mean I'm going to trust everything that he says. I'm going to do research. And I'm glad that I did, because I found this video. And I want you guys to see this video and you start. So this is a guy that's in LA that went to see the site, and he starts interviewing people. So check what he says. So these are the signs.
There's the
right
help
there.
sign right there. The big help.
When you look at it, they're just.
I mean, I honestly don't know if this is just kids fooling around or something real. Right there. We'll take some photos. I mean, it says help there too, but I don't know. It's like the help signs and stuff. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen it.
What is it? Do you know who does it?
The old ones. They've been there for a long time.
Do you think it's just kids like messing around?
I don't know. I honestly don't. I don't even go in there. You know.
It's like a bunch of help signs up on that lot over there. There's no way to get in here.
No.
Okay.
Right here is construction. The guy says it's a construction work is right here.
Okay.
Over there is a train.
Okay. Okay, I was just wondering.
Help?
Yeah, like.
Oh yeah, I know.
What is that?
I don't know, man. Every time that it's the big ones, the small ones.
Yeah.
I don't know what is that.
Is it people just messing around?
It's a homeless.
You think so?
Yeah, it's crazy. I know. I seen it. Porque the other day, the guys in construction said, "Who's fucking making like that one shit?" You know, because I got a big post like that.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? I know. And the little ones, I don't know who's this.
Okay.
Okay,
so here's the point.
So what's like?
Here's the point.
General theory. Yeah.
Conspiracy theories automatically they see help. They're like, this is a technique that's been used by people stuck on deserted island. They need to be helped, right? They're stuck there. They automatically assume that this was somebody calling for help, and the fact that it was right next to a railroad, to a big railroad depot where there's massive containers everywhere. People that are conspiracy theorists are looking at that. This is human trafficking right away. Then you have a guy like that. And then if you look at the comments, people are like, oh shit, I tried to go and it disappeared. I didn't see it. That's because they didn't enable if you're just looking at Google, it doesn't work. You need to look at the satellite view that will actually show you buildings. Because, Google will disable certain layers on their, so people automatically are like, oh shit, I just looked and it disappeared right away. It's true. It's true, or else Google wouldn't have taken it. So see, right now,
and that's the confirmation bias you see a lot with, I think.
But see, this is the normal Google view. If you disable the satellite view, and people are like, holy shit, it's not there anymore. I can't see it. So the point I'm trying to make is, as much as I'm going to talk about conspiracy theories that I'm going to bring them up, even today I did, I don't believe everything that people tell me. That's my point. Even though that I trust the guy that posted that video, when I saw that, I'm like, hey, that's interesting. But I didn't stop there. I didn't believe what the people are saying in the comments. I started looking for other proofs, for other opinions, for what other people are saying. And then I'm like, okay, hold on. Is it possible? Sure. Is it possible that that's a station that's used for human trafficking? Sure. Who knows? I'm not saying that it isn't. But the fact that you have somebody that went there and say, oh, yeah, it's the homeless, they do it. You're like, okay, hold on. Are they just bored? Do they not have anything else to do? People will do really dumb shit for attention.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
People,
just to create I guarantee you that if I created that, the crop circles. I'm a big
that's actually exactly what I thought of when I saw
So does that mean it's aliens? Not necessarily, because there's a lot of people that like to fuck with other people. Why do they do it? Because they like to fuck with other people. That's it. I'm not saying that this is not true. All I'm saying is, guys, as much as I talk about conspiracy theories, that doesn't make it true. And I know this guy and I follow this guy and we talk all the time. I actually respect this guy. But when I saw that, I'm like, okay, yeah, but that could be anything. It's not big. It's not like you're seeing that from a fucking mile away. You have to zoom all the way down.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see, like, go back on Google Earth and see roughly when that showed up. Like, was that there a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago, 6 months? I mean, just right away off the top of my head, in terms of like my skepticism, I'm like, okay, well, if someone, let's go with the theory that it is human trafficking, someone escapes from the railroad, are they going to spend their time to build signs, or are they just going to jump the fence and go and flag down a cop or someone? I mean, that's sort of what I think. But yeah, I mean, I think it's important, like, just the way that you said it, just question the narrative. I don't think there's anything wrong with that whatsoever. I think, you know, I'll be open to anything that there's evidence of. Obviously, that the fact that there's no evidence doesn't mean that it's not true. It's just more, I won't necessarily, quote unquote, believe it until I see it. But and part of it's also just kind of fun, right? Like, conspiracy theories there's a little bit, people enjoy them. They're a good time to shoot the shit, talk about them. You know, everyone feels like this thing, and sometimes they're definitely probably right. I.e. the corona, the COVID lab leak thing. Apparently that's correct now. You know, you were a conspiracy theorist a couple of years back. You were a racist.
And who knows, this might come up 3 months from now. There was a massive buzz there, and they were actually trafficking humans. That was a station that they used to traffic humans. Mm-hmm. Who knows? Yeah. All I'm saying is, do not believe it. As much as I'm a conspiracy theorist by a lot of people's standards, that doesn't mean that I hear a conspiracy and I'm like, oh, that's it. It's true. Let's get the guns and let's go free some fucking hostages. Like, come on.
Let's go.
Like,
pizza.
no, but
boot the door down.
That's all I'm saying. I want to make sure that people that don't know me, that see this, they don't automatically believe that I believe everything.
No, I think
I saw this and I'm like, you have to look at it and just use your common sense, use your critical thinking hat, and just see what else it could be.
I think the approach you take to it is, I mean, clearly you are definitely conspiracy minded, but as long as you sort of put out there, I'm not saying this is true, this is just, it's interesting. I think people will always sort of understand that, like, okay, that's, you know, I think what turns people off is, you know, when people are like, this is true, this is definitely true, and the evidence isn't strong. But as long as you're open, have an open mind, I don't think anyone would have an issue with that. Personally, I think it's hilarious. Anytime you have a chance to wear that tinfoil hat, I'm down.
I gotta do something for the inside. It is so not comfortable to wear. It kind of digs in my bald headed skin.
Get some felt in there, and I mean, if you're gonna be wearing it a lot, you may as well make it comfortable.
I'll wear it every show, bro. I'm gonna bring up a conspiracy every time. So, you know, guys, we overdid it. We went from 2 hours to 1 hour and 15 minutes. We're gonna chop it there, I think. But I want to remind you guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for being with us. Thank you for enjoying what we do. Please share us some subjects you want to, if you see some videos that you think we should talk about, please send it over. Make sure to follow this page. Make sure to follow the Silent Middle Pod on X. Make sure to follow Rob at Rob_the Builder, and make sure, and he's cool, so it's not THE, it's THA.
Yeah, it's a thaw.
I guess he's I
made that when I was like 20.
Because he's so cool. Because you're so cool, right? So Rob _
too cool
THA Builder. Yeah, he's too cool. And at Real Nico Lagan for me.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you so much, guys.
Do you have anything else to say?
No, just, I mean, I think you covered it all. You know, like I said, we're here every day now at noon Eastern time. So we're really trying to, you know, not just have a thing where me and you, two guys who love hearing their own voices, just talk. Like, we want to build a community, right? We want to have people kind of engaging, and hopefully, you know, with this again, this can go somewhere. Because I think, you know, I think there's a hunger for it, for sort of just being a move back to sanity, you know, into common sense, and hopefully we can play our part. Thank you so much, guys. We will see you tomorrow. Ciao.